Welcome to CivilNet. My guest today here in the studio is Nazareth Seferian. He is the country director for ONEArmenia. ONEArmenia has launched a new initiative which we will be talking about. Nazareth, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
You are actually the newly appointed country director of ONEArmenia. And you know, we often hear about the organization. We know you do a lot of crowdfunding initiatives. But tell us, what is the vision, the mission, the objective of this organization?
Right. So crowdfunding is basically a tool that we use. And the vision for ONEArmenia is the fact that we have a huge community outside of Armenia that cares about Armenia. And if this community unites, then a lot of positive change can take place in Armenia. And ONEArmenia is the catalyst that allows that to happen and the platform that keeps this community tied to Armenia and vice versa. So apart from the crowdfunding projects that we do for the benefit of Armenian communities in our country, we bring up various positive stories from Armenia, we produce some short films, and we basically keep this connection between the people outside of Armenia who care for this country and the country itself.
Okay, you know, I was looking at the website and you say that this is not about charity, it's about sustainable development. And yet some of the projects are like one-off projects. Like you'll do the project, it'll come to an end, and then you move on to another one. How do you envision ensuring sustainability to ensure that the projects you're implementing are not only impactful in the short run, but actually have a longer sort of impact on
That's a very good question, and something we've had an internal discussion about for a long time now. And basically, what we're going to be doing for the rest of this year is focusing our efforts on economic development and selecting projects and crowdfunding for projects where we are directly impacting the livelihoods of people and helping them get new economic opportunities and sort of increase their economic potential in the country. So let me give you an example. We had a very good project in Berkaber up in Davush last year. And the idea was that in this village of Berkaber, we crowdfunded for the establishment of greenhouses. So the people in that village could have a harvest for a longer period of time, and that directly sort of gave them a higher source of income and so on. So there was a big trickle-down effect or a ripple effect from this project. After those greenhouses, the villagers saw the potential that they had, and they invested in more greenhouses for themselves. The income that came from these greenhouses, the harvest that came from these greenhouses, was partly invested in the kindergarten of that village. So that is where real sustainability is, when you give people the chance to stand on their own 2 feet and do the rest of the work themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more. You have a new project about a village of 150 people, very small village in Nagorno Karabakh called Aghavnatun. And ONEArmenia has prepared a short promotional video highlighting the problem that exists. Why don't we take a look at the video now, and then we'll come back and talk about the project.
Sure.
Եկել ենք բնակության այստեղ հաստատվել ենք 1995 թվականից։ Գյուղում չի եղել բուժկետ։ Բուժկետը եղել է իմ տանը։ Ես այցելում եմ 3 գյուղերի հիվանդներին՝ Հարարը, Խաշկետիկը եւ Աղավնատունը։ Նորածին երեխեք ունեմ, հաղիներ են լինում, հիպերտոնիկ հիմնական հիվանդներ կան։ Մեր մեքենան գյուղի 2 տարի որ մենք ստացել ենք, միջև այդ ոտով։ Թեկուս Անդրևը թափիլա, կարկուտը թափիլա, ես գնացել հասել եմ։ Եթե կանչելին, ուրեմն կարիքը կա։ 3 անգամ մեր գյուղը դատարկվեց ու լսվեց, որտեղ մարդիկ չեն կարողանում ապրել։ Մի խոսքով շատ դժվար կյանք ենք ապրել, շատ։ Բուժկետը շատ կարևոր է բոլորի համար, որովհետև ոչ մեկը հիվանդություններից ապահովագրված չի։ Սա միայն անհատի առողջությունը չի, այլ համայնքի կայունությունը եւ առողջ զարգացումը։
You know, I must admit, when I watched the video, it was very emotional to see the conditions in which those villagers have to live, never mind healthcare, but healthcare is probably the most important thing. So how do you find out about these stories? How do you dig them up?
We have a lot of great partners who bring these project ideas to us. This project is being done with the Tufenkian Foundation. And this is also about sustainability. So coming back to that previous discussion that we had, there are lots of problems in Aghavnatun. Aghavnatun is actually a community that consists of 3 different villages, as you saw in the promotional video. And the idea is that these people don't have decent telecommunications infrastructure. They don't have decent roads. The nearest clinic is 2 hours away on a very rocky road that is not going to be repaired anytime soon. And these villages are strategically important. This is on the corridor that links Yerevan to Stepanakert through Goris. So the sustainability of this village is in question. The village has lost its population a number of times, and there are increasing efforts to keep this village alive, basically. And the healthcare facility is a very, very important issue that people consider when they want to move to this village. Many of the people in the village are from cities in Armenia, and they've made a conscious decision to move there and to create a life for themselves there. But the absence of this facility makes that very, very difficult. Okay,
so you've started a crowdfunding campaign aiming to raise about $33,000 to actually construct a clinic. But will it also bring in professionals, professional doctors? Because, the human condition is such that you have many different kinds of ailments, mothers giving birth, elderly people. So how is that going to be resolved?
So all this information is on our campaign page. So one of our key values is transparency. So all this information is there for people to see. But basically, besides the construction of the clinic and some of the equipment and furniture that's going to be provided to the clinic, there are going to be visits by doctors and dentists, both from Yerevan and Stepanakert closer by, for short periods of time to diagnose people, to solve the issues that are easily solvable, and to recommend sort of more global interventions if necessary for some of the population. Also, once the village has a clinic, then they have the opportunity to go to the state and ask for a budget allocation for a doctor or a younger medical professional. So all this has been taken into consideration, and all this is part of the project. And the idea is that once we put this facility into place, 4 or 5 months down the line, once those visiting doctors are there and have done some of their work, then we can work with the state, we can work with some other organizations to bring in more professionals if needed, and try to get a full-time doctor there allocated by the state.
And I believe you're partnering up with the Tufenkian Foundation for this particular
That's right.
Clinic. I want to talk about crowdfunding because it seems to be the tool that you utilize brilliantly as an organization. And it's a phenomenon that we've been seeing, and it's been a real success. Is that where you get the major bulk of your funding?
The major bulk of the funding for projects like this, yes, come from crowdfunding. The rest of our projects are funded by our board of trustees. And crowdfunding is an amazing tool. I mean, it's transforming the world, it's transforming the way projects are being done in Armenia, outside Armenia. It's doing a lot of transformation. And we've had a lot of experience in this area already. Over the past 2.5 years, we've crowdfunded 9 successful projects. We've raised more than $170,000 through crowdfunding. And Armenia is actually uniquely placed to use this tool because we have a big community outside of our country that has ties to the people here. So, I mean, we're already 1/3 of the way to our target as this is being recorded. Hopefully, by the time the viewers watch this, we'll be further along the road.
For Aghavnatun, for this particular one, right?
Exactly, for this project. But the idea is that if we only have 2,000 people donating $10 each to this project, then we're already there.
Right.
And I'm sure that we have the potential within Armenia, and the rest of the world that has even bigger potential. So this is the future. And
yeah, it is certainly important. I think Armenians in the diaspora oftentimes want to engage, want to take part, and geography, life, distance, and all of that creates barriers. But this is such a phenomenal way for them to be able, to give their little part in the process.
Right, and these are grassroots projects. These aren't huge projects where the $10 that you give or the $5 that you give might get lost in a much bigger budget. We have, the budget's there, transparency's there. We report to our donors as well. And it's actually a great way for someone interested in Armenia to say that they had a small investment in what is now a thriving community in Tavush or in Kashatagh or wherever.
Wherever it is. Transparency and accountability. I think that's the key for any organization working in a developing country, for any diasporan organization that
Absolutely.
wants to engage in Armenia. Nazareth, thank you so much. Best of luck. We'll be following all of the exciting projects that you're doing, and hopefully people will contribute to this particular initiative. We'll have it up with our report, and people can go to the site and donate.
Thank you very much. If I may say one more thing,
Sure.
The Armenian Center Trust in the UK is doubling donations or matching donations that are made until the 16th of March, until Monday, up to a total of $10,000. So if viewers go online to campaign.onearmenia.org right now and make a donation, their donations will be matched.
Well, hopefully they will. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
I'd like to remind our viewers that my guest was the country director for ONEArmenia, Nazareth Seferian. Stay with CivilNet.